Pryde's Fix. It's spoiler heavy and full of crude language. I swear like a sailor, and Lockheed's no better. Consider yourself warned. Hey everyone, it's February 6th and I'm here with this week's Pryde Picks. We are going to start with a couple issues from Marvel, move into something from Boom Studios, and end it with Icon's Hit Girl. Now, I did something last week that got a lot of positive feedback, and I'm going to continue to do it for the rest of this series, and that is put a little icon of each issue I'm reviewing in the corner. That way you can skip past all the crap you don't want to see and get straight to the stuff you do want to see, and maybe miss any spoilers you don't want to hear because you haven't picked up the issue yet. We're going to start with All New X-Men number 7. Now, this issue is the one you're going to want to pick up if you want to see a little bit into young Scott Summers' mind, what he feels his role is here in the nowadays X-Men universe, and if you want to see a little bit of Mystique tweaking with his mental status. She's kind of gearing him in a direction that looks like a lot of shit's about to get real fast. And if you want to see Kitty Pryde kick Bobby's ass, young Bobby Iceman, to the curb, tell him he's a bitch, and beat him down, this is the issue you want to pick up. If you want something that's going to push the story along and kind of get to the point, this isn't really it. We're still just building up a lot of backstory for this story arc. So I would say this issue is something you want to wait for the trade. It's nothing you need to pick up and read right away, but it is definitely an enjoyable read. And watching Kitty Pryde beat Bobby's butt is amazing. And watching Wolverine be embarrassed to be an Avenger is even more enjoyable. Moving on to something I'm very excited about, Superior Spider-Man number 3. And now I know you all were with me when I was complaining about issue 2 and how we were just wasting our time with Doc Ock trying to nail MJ. But I get it. I get what Dan Slott was trying to do. He was trying to get past the part where all the fanboys, myself included, wanted to see MJ get tentacle raped by Otto Octavius. We're going to skip that, push it all out of the way, and get straight to the story. And that's what issue 3 is doing. Issue 3 leaves us feeling like Peter isn't necessarily a ghost, and he's more definitely attached to the consciousness of his body. He is now able to access Doc Ock's memories, and I'm not quite sure how far or what the limitations of that are just yet. We're going to find out, I guess, in further issues, but he gets to see a little bit into Octavius's childhood and why he is the way he is. He also gets to see that Doc Ock kind of bonded with the Vulture when he was part of the Sinister Six, and he saw him as an intellectual equal-ish, and he had respect for him. And when they go head-to-head later on, you find out how close they really were and where his loyalties really lie. You also find out who the Vulture's using as his little minions, and trust me, it's a little bit of a shocker. I didn't realize it till about halfway in the issue what the fuck was going on. If you want to see Dan Slott finally getting to the point, to this story arc, and where this is going to go, and Carly sort of totally figuring it all out along the way, this is the issue you want to pick up. Issue 1's bringing us Peter in his Patrick Swayze mode. Issue 2 is bringing us MJ, tentacle raped. And issue 3 is getting to the fucking point. This is what you want. I actually shut this book really satisfied, and I feel like you guys might too, so I would say pick it up. Issue 3 is definitely a buy it now for me, and I think you guys will like it too if you're a Spider-Man fan or a Spider fan. See what I did there? Alright, that was embarrassing for all of us. Moving on to something you would never expect me to review, Boom Studios has Fairy Quest Outlaws, and this is for all you comic book lovers that have little children. You have little brats, little minions, little shits that you want to bring to the comic book store. This is how you're going to get them there. This book is considered like a G-rated Grimm's Fairy Tales or Fables or maybe like your Once Upon a Time. And it is, the Grimm brothers have created this world where all their characters have to live within the script. And anyone that deviates off of it gets penalized and if they deviate too far away, they get put into the mind eraser. Not quite sure the ramifications of all this yet, but Red and the Wolf have become friends and they escape, and the issue ends with them ending up in Neverland. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. It was an incredibly enjoyable read. The art in this book is really enjoyable. It's sort of anime, sort of American. It kind of reminds me of an Ultimate Spider-Man or maybe Spider-Man Alpha. It made reviewing this a lot easier because the art was just so beautiful and so adorable, and they're all very wide-eyed. I feel like it's something you could sit down with your children and read with them, and the pacing is incredibly fast. So before you know it, the issue's over and you want more. So check it out, pick it up for you and your kids, and see if you like it. And if they do like it, maybe move on to something a little more adult as they grow up and make more comic book lovers in the world. I'm not saying breed. Don't breed. But if you already have them, you might as well make them a little geek with the rest of us. So if you're a parent, buy it now. If you are just a fan of fairy tales and whimsical like myself, pick it up and read it at your local comic book shop, Tate's or whatever, and buy some Superior Spider-Man. That's what I'm going to say to that. Ending it with a book you would never want your sweet little youngins to read, and that is Hit Girl issue number 5. Now, if you guys have seen the movie Kick-Ass, you all know that Mindy is a little badass. And in the book, she pulls no punches. Mindy is the meanest, smartest, most vicious, moralless little girl I've ever met, and she's my personal hero. This little girl stabs men in the nuts and has no remorse. That's amazing. Her family and her have been put on a hit list by Red Mist, motherfucker's dad himself, and from prison he is trying to kill them. Red Mist is somewhere else in the world getting trained by ninjas, and Mindy decides to drug her parents and fuck up the bad guys. Fuck them up so hard. Now Marcus, her adopted stepdad, has made her promise to never kill again, but they brought this into her home, and this little girl is done. She's done playing nice. She's done just being a student. She fucks up everybody in this book, and I almost wish they would have taken an issue more to show how much bad shit she did, because she killed 10 people on her hit list, went after the crime boss, broke her way out of prison, and on her way out, fucked up some people that your jaw just drops to the floor. You're like, did she just do that? And I feel like, and then she goes back to wearing a cute little plaid skirt and being a good little girl. She promised Marcus she wouldn't kill anymore, so after this, she swears she's gonna end it. And Kick-Ass, he sucks. So she decides she's going to train him. This book is just about how fucking badass Mindy is. And I have to say, after this book, this little girl can do no wrong. This girl is so fucking crazy. She's seeing her dead big daddy and having conversations with him. And I wish I was her. I wish I was Mindy. So if you want to read the most twisted, sadistical, mean, evil, awesome, badass, bloody motherfucking book you've ever seen with a little girl doing all of this mayhem, issue number 5 is the one to pick up. Pick it up, read it now, read it on the shelf if you don't have the few bucks to shell out for it, but this book is awesome, and you have to read it. If you like my reviews and you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel. If you did like my reviews and have rage to share, leave a comment below. I will read it. I read all of them. I got nothing else going on. And if there's something I should be reading, shoot me a message. I would love to read anything you're reading and review/rage over it. So I will catch y'all on the internets, and I will see you next week. Good night, everybody.